Hi everyone, I'm Allison, as Miles said. I'm going to speak into the microphone. I have a quick clip to play for you and then we'll get into the presentation.
And that was major for me. Being a host more than just putting your property up on guests and stay with you. You give them that feeling, that emotional experience of being not just someone in a new place, but actually belonging in that place. That is something that you carry on with you through your life.
For someone that works at a tech company, I can't really figure out tech, so bear with me. So, I'm here to talk about storytelling at Airbnb, and just briefly about me. I come from a documentary film background. I was living in LA before I moved to San Francisco, working at a very small, scrappy production company. Then I moved to San Francisco about 3 years ago and started working at a very small, scrappy startup, Airbnb, which has grown from over 200 people, 150 people from when I started, up to almost 2,000 people all over the world now. And to put storytelling in context at Airbnb and how vital it is to the company, we actually had a film team in place before we had an HR team. So storytelling has always been and always will be really, really important to the Airbnb community and to the travel community in general. So to give you a scale of Airbnb, we have over 1 million listings all over the world. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of guests staying in strangers' homes every single night. So this isn't a new way of traveling. People have been opening their homes up for strangers for so many years, probably since the biblical times. But with resources like Airbnb, we make it really accessible to people all over the world. So you have tons of languages, you have strangers' homes, people's prized possessions, staying in someone's home. It's funny to think like, well, what could go wrong? And it's amazing, not a lot goes wrong, but I think storytelling is a really wonderful way to normalize that. So we use filmmaking to normalize the experience of staying in a stranger's home. All of our stories come from our community. They're all real, they're all authentic. We source them from our community and we go out and shoot them from all over the world. Airbnb is also, no, it's a long slide. So Airbnb is also built on trust. In order for a guest to stay with a host, they have to go online, read reviews, and message those people. And if we do our jobs right as filmmakers, we can create an Airbnb experience to a viewer who has never experienced Airbnb before. We ultimately paint a picture of what that experience looks like. So at Airbnb, we have a storytelling database. We have over 100,000 stories that have been submitted to us over just the past year. These are really amazing stories. You can imagine some really amazing coincidences can happen when you have people traveling all over the world. One of my favorite stories is about this man named John who lived in Sweden. He was born in Sweden, and then he moved to Rio when he was young. So now he lives in Rio with his wife and daughter, and his daughter urged him to go back to Sweden to explore, where he comes from. So she bought a plane ticket, she booked him an Airbnb, they flew to Sweden, checked into the Airbnb, and the father, John, realized that Airbnb was the same home he was born in 60-something years back. So these stories are amazing, they're transformational, and I think everyone in the audience knows what makes a good story, right? We have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But what makes it really great and really interesting is having something transformational happen, having the main character overcome an obstacle. And with Airbnb, a lot of our hosts overcome an obstacle or go through a transformation. So you have somebody, for example, there's this man named Jonathan in LA. He started hosting, he's a single dad, he works in publishing, doesn't love his job. He started hosting originally for the money. Eventually he made enough money to quit his job, become a full-time sculptor, which is his passion, and ultimately spend time with his children. So at Airbnb, we want to tell those stories. We want to normalize the process of hosting and ultimately inspire people to travel on Airbnb. So another project that I worked on recently, which was telling a bunch of these stories, we traveled around the world, 5 different countries, on 4 different continents, interviewing 47 hosts and 48 local businesses. So we made a total of 95 videos within about 30 days. And we were interviewing hosts, and they were giving us their local recommendations. So we asked hosts, what's your favorite local cafe? What's a secret about your neighborhood that no one would otherwise know unless they knew you? They knew you as a local. And then we went to their favorite cafe, to their favorite bar, and we interviewed the owner of the cafe, the owner of the bar, and got the story behind the community. So not only do we get to know the local people, we like to get to know the local places as well to bring that experience to the viewer. So if you're staying at home, you have no interest in travel, you can watch these videos anywhere in the world. We can upload it to YouTube, translate it in any language, and boom, you have the Airbnb experience right in front of your face. It's really interesting and fascinating. And on a personal note about storytelling, I'm really excited about the fact that people are craving more authentic, real stories. I think with the success of Serial, the success of This American Life, I personally love that storytelling, and I think as brands, as tech companies, it's exciting to see that we can start creating that type of content and it can go more mainstream than your traditional advertising. There's nothing wrong with that, but the balance is really nice. So, thank you.
Right on, thanks, Alice.